Hey pirates. After the update, we can see the Mutineer in the game, as well as the components. Of course, I still don't own it because the raid hasn't started. But I thought I'd share some early thoughts with you here and just try to see if you can come up with a potentially good build. I didn't rehearse this, so I'm just going to be trying a few things. I'm starting with the Riot just to compare. So we can see here how the Riot has 60 million armor points, 290% bonus on concussive damage, 15% evade and small amount of concussive survival, and a speed of 42. Look at the build time as well, 4 days, 1 hour, 33 minutes. I have some R&D done, I have some officers and stuff like that, so yours might be a little bit higher than that or lower depending on where you are in the game. Now let's switch from the Riot to the Mutineer, and I want you to pay attention to the change in the numbers here. Go to the right, pick Skirmish, and the Mutineer is right here. The first thing that caught my attention is that the build time went from 4 days, 1 hour to 4 days, 15 hours. So there is some creep in the build time. I also see that, of course, it went from 60 million to 190 million armor, from 290 to 375% concussive damage. The evade is the same, 15%. The number of slots, 10 weapon slots, is the same. But if you notice here, there are slots for countermeasures here. It just didn't show with a different icon like the Riot did. So yeah, so choose slots for countermeasures, which probably will need the Cormorant, anti-torpedo, and maybe some Gale. I don't know. And yeah, a little bit less sonar, a little bit lower combat speed from 42 to 36. Same repair time. So that's the naked hull. Of course, as soon as I get it, I'll try to get it first on the first day of raid, the first points you score, get the Mutineer, see that you can start the raid with the shipyard available. So as soon as you get it, you just put a Thud 1 right there and you start the build. You don't build with anything but a Thud 1. It's the shortest build time. And then you add all the components by refitting the ship, because when you refit, you benefit from a lot of bonuses, and putting something during a refit takes a lot less time than during an initial build. So don't put components on the initial build. This way, if you start right on Wednesday, and we know next week on Friday, so 9 days from Wednesday, there will be a VXP weekend. With 9 days, you can get 2 of these out by VXP weekend. And then if you did like I did and you saved FM tokens and chests, you have enough to get 2 more. So it's a perfect time to get 4 ships naked for VXP weekend without spending one single dime. Now let's forget the Thud and let's just look at the weapons. I want to put 2 weapons here to compare. The first one, let me select here Depth Charge. And it's the one I don't have, of course, the drum roll Gatling gun. This is not limited. And here we can see, although the nominal damage is 20,000, because of the bonuses built in the hull, it already goes to 95 because of the 375% here. If we compare, I'm gonna, instead of the drum roll with the 95, and what's the reload here? 3.2, salvo 4, yeah. Let's go get the limited gun, the Freedom Fist. So instead of 95, this one gives 114. So you can see the difference. It's already close to 20,000 in difference. Same reload, same salvo. Didn't pay attention to the splash and the spread. So let's put them side by side and we can compare. 515.45, 515.45. 45. 515.45. Yeah, everything else seems to be just the same. except that this one starts at 24, winds up to 48,000. And the damage here is not looking at the wind up, it's looking at the initial lower damage value. And this one goes from 20 to 40. So big difference in damage already when you multiply, and you think that you're probably going to have 8 weapons and 2 countermeasures, so times 5 ships. That 20,000 with the extra specials and whatnot, it becomes a huge difference. So if you can during the raid, get the limited Freedom Fist, and you're going to have a much stronger ship. And of course, I would be putting this on all slots. I'm using the regular one everywhere except on the top 2, because here we might need countermeasures. If this is like the past many skirmish raids, we will need, it's limited, we'll need the Cormorant, Anti-Torpedo, and most likely the Gale 4. So this is what usually we have been using on these ships. Again, we have to see the target on VXP weekend, and this might be completely wrong. That's why I'm leaving these 2 slots empty. But we know here we'll need weapons, period, no questions about that. 4 armor slots, we've been getting the limited armors on the FM for the past 3 weeks. So ZCT 2, ZX 2. My guess is we'll be using 2 of each, but if you're not sure, you can just go and start with 1 of each and leave the other slot open. Again, the XP weekend, we might have a better idea. So now we have about 100% resistance on concussive and just a little bit more on the explosive, because the Gale gives a little bit. So that's what the rounding error there is. Specials, we know we're going to have 2 new specials. Let me see if I can find them here. Oh, here we go. One of them is the Impact Overdrive. It's limited. A chance of critical hit and more concussive damage. So now you see it's at plus 630 because of the armor gives 2% multiplicative. And this special gives 42. The other new special, that of course I don't have it either, it's called Liberty Belt. More reload, more damage. So now we have 1300% extra damage, 50% extra reload. That means we need an engine, some sort of thing to give us combat speed. Bonus combat speed. So what can we use from here? We have this one from the Riot, the Reef Rider. It's good because it gives explosive survival, gives some evade, projectile speed, and adds concussive damage. So best of all, it's not limited. I think the Reef Rider engine is the go-to engine for the Mutineer. Now we have even more damage. We have a little bit more evade here on the defense and a fairly decent speed. And now let's look at our options here for concussive damage. What do we have? Oh, this was a good one. The Signal Amplification Armor. Good amount of survival. And bonuses for your countermeasures. So I think definitely we'll be getting this one in. And we still have 2 slots to go. We might use... Oh, interesting. One thing I wasn't sure was going to happen here. But it seems like we cannot use the open water. It's disabled, meaning it's not compatible with some other choice in there. That is good to know. So here we go. The open water warfare would give us concussive damage and splash damage reduction, but it's not compatible with the Impact Overdrive. That gives you some damage, 42%, and a chance at critical hit. So now you gotta choose what's better. 37.5% or 42% with chance of critical. Or do you want this splash damage reduction? Choices. I don't know which one's the better choice of the two. But because this is the new one, I'll tend to try the new one, of course. So here you could try DDS. You could try Hyper 30. At this point, I really don't know. Looking at what else we could have here for concussive. We could put the PBX and have even more chances of critical hits. Or we could try the Hydro Explosive case. And this one is also critical hits and more splash. I like this. So let's try the Hydro Explosive casing. And yep, so now we have 40% critical chance with 125 extra damage and a little bit of a splash bonus. Now, really, I think the last one could be something for evade. Like I said, Hyper 30 or Agility System or DDS. It could also probably be something for even more damage. There's not many options left, but you could go with a concussive upgrade. These look like fairly decent set of specials and weapons and stuff to get started. I'm gonna put this code, I'm gonna click share, copy to clipboard. I'm gonna put this code on the YouTube video. So what you do there, you select, you copy, you come back in your shipyard, you click share, but then you click here, you delete that, and then you press Control V on your PC or Command V on your Mac, and the code comes right back in and you click load. There we go. Alright, so I'm leaving countermeasures open until we see the target. Probably just gonna put at least a cormorant, but who knows. And not sure about the final special. Should we go with evade? Should we go with more damage? I really don't know. See you next time, parts. I hope that was a good brainstorming here. Me, myself, and I. And leave your comments. I'm open to ideas. I'm curious about the kinds of builds people are going to come up with. See you next time.